The all-new Honda Clarity, built to compete against some hybrid market heavyweights, is actually a family of cars with a variety of electric propulsion systems. One version is a hydrogen-powered fuel cell car, one is pure electric, EV, and the third is a plug-in hybrid. As you'd expect, the fuel cell version is not practical for anyone not living near a hydrogen filling station. The EV has a claimed range of only 89 miles puny by current standards. That leaves the plug-in hybrid as the viable option for most people. And that is the version we recently bought to test. As a plug-in, the Clarity competes with the Chevrolet Volt and Toyota Prius Prime. Because it is scaled much like the Accord, this four-door sedan has an interior room advantage over those plug-in rivals. Once the electric propulsion is finished and the gas engine takes over, the Clarity gets an EPA-rated 42 mpg combined. A small 7-gallon gas tank ensures an additional 300 miles or so of range when the battery is depleted, essentially eliminating range anxiety. Drivers can choose to recharge a low battery on the go by pressing a button, letting the battery system harness engine power. It takes almost 2.5 hours to recharge the Clarity on typical 240-volt connector. Charging on a 120-volt connection takes about 12 hours, so it can be done overnight without owners having to invest in a 240-volt connector. Ride comfort, on the other hand, is a strong suit. The suspension absorbs ruts and bumps with hardly a murmur. The cabin is quiet and almost silent on electric power. The engine groan, when running, is the only notable buzz. The cabin is nicely finished with wood grain trim and tight-fitting panels. Automatic climate control and heated seats are standard. For an additional $3,200, the touring version adds power-operated leather seats and a navigation system. The base version's driver's seat to be rather floppy, overly squishy, and without lumbar support adjustment. The seat also has a small bottom cushion that doesn't come with a tilt adjustment. Even if you spring for the touring trim, there's still no lumbar adjustment. The rear seat has plenty of room and can accommodate 3 passengers. The trunk is decent, and there's no intrusion from the battery, but the opening is on the small side. An 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system is standard, but it is based on an older Honda system that's slow to respond and fussy, and it lacks any knobs or hard buttons. The Clarity is also saddled with Honda's frustrating gear selector. It has a row of push and pull buttons that are cumbersome to use, particularly at night. Working the onboard computer through steering wheel controls is overly complex because it's hard to differentiate the audio controls from the multi-info display. The Clarity comes standard with Honda Sensing, which consists of forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist. Blind spot warning is not available, however. Instead, you get what Honda calls Lane Watch, a video feed showing a rearward view along the passenger side of the car that is turned on when the driver flicks the turn signal stalk to the right. It is not only distracting but also no substitute for a true blind spot detection system that covers both sides. At least drivers can turn it off. The Clarity plug-in is a pleasant car that can work for many people as an electric vehicle most of the time and not leave them with much range anxiety.
When Tesla unveiled its all-electric truck, Tesla Semi, last year, it made several impressive claims about the vehicle's specs and capabilities, leading us to believe that it relies on significant battery improvements. One of those impressive aspects is the Megacharger technology, which Elon Musk claims could add 400 miles of range to a Tesla Semi in 30 minutes. Now we learn that the automaker is working with some of its biggest Tesla Semi reservation holders to add mega-charging stations at their facilities. UPS, PepsiCo, and Anheuser-Busch, who have 265 Tesla Semi trucks on order between them, told Reuters that they have been holding talks with Tesla about installing charging infrastructure at their facilities. PepsiCo executive Michael Connell said about the talks, "We have a lot of in-house capability around energy and engineering, and certainly Tesla brings their expertise to the table on energy and charging." The Tesla semi-reservation holder who talked to Reuters also said that the automaker talked about its deployment of mega-charger stations along at truck stops along routes instead of at destination. At the unveiling event, Tesla promised a mega-charger network worldwide similar to Tesla's existing supercharger network for passenger cars.
January marks the first month-over-month drop in U.S. sales of the Bolt since February of 2017. Bolt sales had grown in every month from February through December. Chart image shows U.S. sales of the Chevrolet Bolt EV for every month since its launch. Why did sales drop so much in January? Part of the story probably has to do with the season. Electric cars are a tougher sell in the wintertime. Tesla's sales dropped in January too. But GM's incentives may also be playing a role. GM has been offering generous incentives on 2017 model year Bolts since last fall, just over $2,000 in discounts and 3.9% financing for those who choose to buy instead of leasing. Those discounts are in addition to federal and state tax credits available to buyers of electric vehicles, which can exceed $10,000 in some areas. GM's incentives likely helped give Bolt sales a boost as 2017 came to a close. But at this point, most 2017 model year Bolts have been sold, and the discounts and cheap financing aren't available on 2018 models. As mentioned, the Bolt was far from the only electric vehicle to see sales slump from December to January. In fact, if Inside Air's estimates for Tesla's sales are accurate, and they're usually close, the Bolt was still the second best-selling battery electric vehicle in the US last month behind Tesla's Model 3. Will Bolt sales pick up as the year goes on? It's very likely they will. Bolt sales will start moving back up once dealers have full supplies of 2018 models and as soon as winter starts to turn to spring. That said, there's more competition on the way that could make for an interesting sales battle in 2018. For starters, Tesla is slowly but surely ramping up production of its Model 3. There's also an all-new Nissan Leaf that has just begun arriving at US dealers and that could prove to be a serious competitor to the Bolt in time. While the new Leaf's range falls short of the Bolt's, so does its price. Still, the little Bolt has already outperformed some analysts' expectations. As interest in electric vehicles continues to grow and as GM begins marketing the Bolt to fleet customers in earnest, chances seem good that Bolt sales will once again begin trending upward as 2018 unfolds.
For decades, the highest-selling midsize car in America has come down to the Honda Accord versus the Toyota Camry. Camry has been the leader in almost every year of the past 20, but the Accord had caught up as recently as a couple of years ago. The reviews and comparisons done by enthusiast auto publications seem to pick the all-new 2018 Accord as the clear winner in this matchup, but shoppers are choosing the new 2018 Camry over the Accord by a huge margin. Here's why. For the past 2 months, the all-new 2018 Toyota Camry and Honda Accords have both been on sale. Last month the Camry outsold the Accord by a massive 40% margin, with the Accord selling just 17,677 units. The Camry sold 24,638 units. That alone is a clear indication of just how much the buying public prefers the Camry. However, take into account that the Accord's sales dropped by 10% in January and the Camry's went up by 21%, and the comparison is almost embarrassing for the Accord. Prior to going on sale, the automotive media got pre-production cars to test, review and compare. The folks who like to test pricey sports cars and luxury vehicles come down pretty solidly on the side of the Accord. Motor Trend is a good example. Motor Trend tested the Accord 1.5X versus the Camry 2.5X LE trims and came to a clear conclusion on which was best. These are the slightly upscale, base engine trims of both cars. Their final conclusion was holistically, though, there's no comparison. The Accord is more comfortable, spacious, and luxurious than the Camry. It's quieter, rides and handles better, and drives more elegantly. It offers superior technology with a more user-friendly interface. Simply put, Toyota built a better Camry, but Honda built a better car. Based on that summary, and from the Accord's win in almost every individual category, one would think that the Accord would be an easy choice for shoppers. However, there are a couple key buying factors that comparisons like Motor Trends gloss over, and a couple that they just plain leave out, which may be very important to shoppers. The Motor Trend story does not address quality and reliability in its story. Yet, that is a key factor to shoppers considering an affordable family car. Consumer Reports gives the 2018 Accord a 3/5 score for reliability and gives the Camry a higher score of 4/5. J.D. Power and Associates found in its 2017 initial qualities study that Toyota had a higher than average score among all brands and that Honda had a lower than average score. Shoppers who are looking at the Camry and Accord are on a budget and value matters to them. Otherwise, they could head on over to Lexus and check out the ES350 or Acura and check out its TLX. When compared with the same features, the Accord and Camry always come up very close in price. Dealer discounts matter and dealer location always play a role. It is difficult to make a comparison based on by price and location. However, one aspect of value is easy to compare: included service. Toyota offers 2 years of included service. Honda offers none. You are not likely to read that in an Accord versus Camry story in a magazine with an Italian supercar on the cover. Although the new Accord and Camry are similar in performance, a test drive will never give a buyer any indication of what their actual fuel economy will be. For that information, they look to the window sticker or to places like www.fueleconomy.gov. Despite having a larger engine with more horsepower, the Camry has a higher combined EPA fuel economy number. Let's face it, who wants a smaller engine with less power and lower fuel economy if all else is equal? Car magazines sometimes mention safety, but they rarely go very deep on the subject. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety does though and publishes a very easy-to-read guide. The Camry has a higher safety rating than the Accord. The Camry earned the highest possible score, Top Safety Pick Plus. The Accord could not earn that rating because its headlights are lower rated. All other things equal, who buys the less safe car with the weaker headlights? Why more buyers are choosing Camry? The comparison of the new Toyota Camry versus the 2018 Accord is very close. Taste and brand loyalty may be the final factor for many shoppers. However, the Camry has higher fuel economy, a larger engine, more horsepower, better headlights, a higher safety rating, a better reliability rating from Consumer Reports, and a higher quality rating from J.D. Power. The Accord has its advantages for sure, and enthusiast magazines, perhaps grudgingly, reviewing family cars find those. Actual shoppers know what is important to them and the Camry is their pick by a 40% margin.